Hey, hi everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about the CSA Certified System Administrator exam preparation for the ServiceNow app year 2022, and number of questions would be 30. And this is the first video for CSA preparation. And I will create the two more. So the number of questions would be 90 total overall on three videos combinedly. So that's the whole thing. And this video is created by me. My name is Gaurav Rai. Moving to the next slide. Points to remember. Most of them are already aware about it. Webwizard.com, what you have to do, how to schedule it, and how to select the online and proctored and on-site proctored, how to apply the voucher. I'm not getting on those deep side. Like this is the basic thing. You can uh, go over there and it's follow the instruction. It's quite easy. If you didn't get it, just let me know. I will create another video for on the Webwizard side. Now, the mandatory things requirement for online proctor. When you selected the online proctor, what you have to remember. So first, whenever you're going for examination, it will install some maps. Like when you're logged in, like into the website, there is a on the right side there is the option of install Sentinel, and left side there is a pre-checks systems available there. So both you have to do. Like in pre-checks system would be like you have to check it out your how's your system, its audio is working, your like the camera is working, and your like your internet connectivity is perfect. So it will pre-checks over there on Sentinel. So what it does, it will install in your app like system, and when it will be like when you are going to attend the exam, so automatically your system will be blocked. Every application, like whatever the applications are running behind that, it will be blocked. So only that application at that moment is running for till the time you will not complete the examination. In case you are some technical issues and you are not able to proceed further, so you have to check you have to take the help from the like the tech guy is there. In point number 7 you can see the like the link is mentioned. So simply you have to go over there on the website. There's a technical support option is there. When you click on it, then it will be another one tab is open. So over there, like you can see there is a image like chat with an expert. When you click on it, so it will ask for your first name, last name, and your email ID and purpose of contact. So if you mention there is a online exam technical issue, so it will be like after it when you those like the forms. So when you submit it, it will provide the wait for like 1 minute or 30 seconds, and after that the like tech guy will be starting chatting what the issue and all. So you have to explain that you are getting this much of issue, and in case like you're rescheduling or if you're doing something like your online proctor mentioned that you have to connect with the tech guy, and they will schedule it up, they will restart the exam. So you have to connect with them, so you have to stay with them, they will help it out. They are very like what I get, they are very responsive. So immediately they will respond. You can they will provide step by steps what you have to do. Like if there is any your security apps is running, so you have to they will tell you how to stop that. And remember, you do not use your company laptop because lots of security compliance and lots of things are running, correct? So you cannot stop everything at the moment. So that is the one challenge I'll say it. So just I want to highlight that thing. And you know that. And another mandatory thing is you need external camera. So what they will do? they will check it out whole area in your room, like where you are sitting over there. So they will check it out your there is no another laptop, there is no another screen is there, no other people are sitting around you. And they have the pre-checks like every 10 seconds they will mention that every 10 seconds you have to like hold your camera on the like every area, every corner of the room. So that is the one thing. They will check the your audio. Might be they will ask take your name. So they will confirm on the chat. Yeah, they can hear it. And then after all the pre-checks, they will proceed for the exam. That is the whole process. Now moving towards and rest of the things you can see on the online proctor mandatory requirement. So those are the like mandatory thing you have to take care. And the rest of the things when you're getting on examination, they have like a full like what the steps, step by step process is already there. So when you click on it, they will check it out your biometrics. So you have to steer on the like the camera. So after that, it will get it into the like some verification, and then it will be going through the online proctor chat. So after that, all the pre-checks like your voice, audio, and all the things, then you will be entering the examination. In exam, like whatever the questions are, on that there is a review option is there. Sometimes you are confused, correct? Like the multiple options are they given over there on for the question, and you're confused that might be this will be the answer, or like another will be on. So when you are in the confusing state, definitely you can mark it review. At the end of examination, you have a time, then you can like review it, revisit those questions immediately. Like you don't have to revisit every question. So which question you have marked as a review, there is an option into what we call it's a I, right side below. So there is a checkbox review, and on the and you can move to next. So at the end you can revisit those questions on a faster way. That is the purpose of it. Yep. So moving towards the next slide. First question: which one of the following is an accurate list of changes that are captured in an update set? So answer would be changes made out to tables, forms, schedules, and client scripts. That's pretty straightforward answer. So nothing to explain into that. This is basic thing. Moving toward the next question. What are the three permissions requirements that must evaluate to true for an access control rule to apply? Correct, and choose three answers. So what would be? The answer would be roles, script, and table. Remember, this should be on the format of A, B, C. Like A is called A is roles, B would be script, and C would be tables, and D would be something else. So remember what the question and what the answer should be there. Sometimes questions might be the way of asking would be different, or answer would be like the roles, and the might be there is a similar options would be there. So remember, when you're reading out the question, remember what you have to answer, and similar answer would be definitely exist over there. Moving toward the third question: what would not appear in the application navigator if service is typed into the filtered field incident assigned to? This will not be available. Moving toward the next question: which tool, which tool is used for creating dependency between configuration items in the CMDB? So you know that it's pretty simple. Those are working on the ITOM, and those are working on like managing the CMDB. So they can easily provide this the answer immediately. It's a CI class manager, correct? So like only that they can do the like create the dependency and all. So that is the whole thing. Moving toward the next question. Question number 5. Which of the following should you do before importing data into ServiceNow? More than one response may be correct. So answer would be understand the data you plan to import. Second, decide what to do with incomplete or erroneous data. C, delete all the existing target table records to avoid conflicts. That is the answer. Moving towards question number 6. Which of the following are true statements about dashboard? More than one response may be correct. Dashboard are configured using a drag and drop canvas. Dashboard can contain widget and tabs. You know that the dashboard which you are creating via the like your reports and you are adding into the some format. So you can drag and drop it, correct? The first answer is talking about that. Do not confuse when they use the canvas. So canvas is a framework, like where the frame is designed, correct? So under frame, they are having some area. So that is the whole, they referring to those things, correct? So do not confuse about if they added additional words or expressive words which you didn't aware about or you don't have that technical background on that side, correct? So remember those things. Moving toward the question number 7. When managing global application files, you cannot, remember, when you're managing global application files, you cannot. So what you cannot? Answer would be move application files into or out of a scoped application. That is the whole answer. It's pretty straightforward. Moving toward question number 8. Removing a file, sorry, removing a field from a form using the form designer deletes the field from the database table, true or false. So it's asking for the true or false. So it's false. That's pretty simple. When you, if anyone work on the form designer, they can get it easily. Okay, moving towards the next question. Question number 9. Which one of the following is not part of the service portal configuration tool? Theme editor. It's pretty simple. Question number 10. When do script action trigger? Remember, it's asking for the script action, not the script include or like any other script. So remember what the words are used over there. So script action is the kind of another scripts which trigger via the events. Like when you're your gs.event queue, under that you have to call that event. On that event basis, this will be triggered. So this is also a script. So it's a server-side script. So you can utilize those things when you want. Yeah. Moving towards the question number 11. Glide form and glide user classes are not available for what type of script? Glide form and glide user. It's pretty simple and straightforward, and you can guess it. It's a server side, correct? Because these two are using for the client side. Glide form, when you, it's already defined like in their objects also, correct? The classes which they mention, glide form. So you know that it's pretty straightforward that if you are saying that it's work on the form, glide form, and the glide user side, so definitely it would be not run on the server side. Okay. So remember, I just given the answer. So there would be multiple options are there, correct? Under that, you have to find that which one is suitable. Might be this question would be asked like, glide form classes are not available for what type of scripts, or scripts which not supported for the glide form classes. So what the answer? So same answer would be there, correct? So do not uh, remember those questions, only the concept, and whatever the written answer, that you have to recall. If you worked it on and you have experience into the service now, so pretty straightforward and pretty like some parts of like which you have to explore, correct? You will come to know, like when you have completed 90 questions, you will come to know that what you have to learn it and what you have to take care of, like which type of questions would be there, which part will be highly asked. So that kind of things you have to recollect it, like after seeing the all 90 questions and 3 videos. Moving towards the question number 12. The G underscore scratchpad object has no properties by default and must be populated by what? You know that G underscore scratchpad is used for this into the display business. So it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Moving toward the question number 13. Who can create and text fixes script? So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Admins or user with the script fix admin role. That is the answer. Question number 14. How do you configure a scheduled job to execute on the last day of every month? Repeating the question again. How do you configure a scheduled job to execute on the last day of every month? So it's pretty straightforward. You can go over there on schedule job. You can find the same answer, correct? You have to follow those steps, and you will come to know the what the answer would be. So you don't have to every time remember everything. Just do it on practical way. You will come to know that this is the answer, and you never forget it. You will never forget it, definitely. Set for the question number 14, answer would be set the run field value to monthly and day, and the day field value to 30. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and pretty explanatory. Moving toward the question number 15, which of these classes are part of the service now server side API? So answer would be glide system, GS, GS dot logs, GS dot something, GS dot whatever. So those are the server side. Glide date time, correct? Glide date. So these are the part of server side script APIs. So remember, again, I am repeating it. There would be multiple options would be there, which are not right. So you have to find those answer into that, correct? Moving toward the question number 16, which of the following modules enable security rule debugging? So simple, system security, debugging, debug security rules. This is the pretty straightforward. So whatever the details are mentioned, so you have to navigate to system security, then you have to navigate to debugging, then you have to navigate to debug security rule. So you can find out in your filter like application filter navigation. Okay, moving towards the next slide. Question number 17. Which one of the following is not a debugging strategy for client-side scripts? So gs.logs. It's pretty simple because gs.log is used for the server side. Moving toward the question number 18. Which tool is used for creating dependency between configuration items in the CMDB? So again, the answer would be CI class manager. Okay. Moving toward the question number 19. Which table stores the task SLA records for the SLA attached to particular task? So answer would be task underscore SLA. Moving toward the question number 20, where can we create SLA, OLAs, and underpinning contracts? So answer would be service level management. So it's pretty straightforward. Question number 21, what are the workflow activities? Correct? In workflow, what type of activities are there? So might be it will be different, but remember these things are also exist. So waiting for approval, fulfillment, delivery completed. So these are the things. So question number 18 is repeated because I already explained the CI class manager on the previous slide. So that is the one thing. Moving toward the question number 22. What is the name of text indexing search engine used in ServiceNow? Like which type of search techniques are used in ServiceNow, correct? So Zing is like a search engine for indexing, so used in ServiceNow. So that is the answer. Question number 23. When a request is rejected, a notification is sent and sets the status to rejected. So it's true or false. So it's true. Correct? Moving toward the question number 24. Where is data stored? It's pretty simple. It's in tables. Knowledge base articles are grouped by categories. Correct? Question number 26. How does automating in a transform map? So it takes the name of import set table heading and match it against the existing column field name. So that is how it's mapping. Question number 27. What do client request plus server response equal to? It's a round trip. Correct? It's pretty straightforward. So moving towards question number 28, in service catalog, when a user orders several items, following records are created. The answer will be SCTAS, REQ, RITM. So these three will be associated, correct? It's associated with the catalog. So that is the answer. Moving towards the question number 29. When you open a service catalog and click the order button, what gets created? So simple, request via RITM, and RITM create the task. So it's one to many and many to many relationships are running. What does mean? Like when you submit it, only one request created. Under one request, there are multiple RITMs created, or one also created, but the majorly we use the multiple RITMs, and then after the multiple tasks is there, correct? If multiple RITMs, then multiple tasks is there, then that type of relation, these type of relations is called one to many and many to many. Okay, moving towards, you cannot deactivate a plugin. Question number 30, I'm just reading out. You cannot deactivate a plugin once it has been activated. It's true. Correct? It's a final question has been completed. So thanks for watching my video. Please share, like, and subscribe my channel. And in the CSA exam preparation for ServiceNow, the second series will come soon. Coming soon. So it's not yet decided. So I'll let you know, and that will also created by me. Thanks. Bye.